A regular on Montreal Now, James Mennie joins us, reporter, columnist, editor at the Montreal Gazette, and an all-round great guy. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Trudie, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
I've been listening for the past hour. Trudie, I'm essentially questioning the fabric of my very existence here. Aaron never gets this existential. Let me tell you right now. The questions you've been asking, optimism, how do you view the world? Well, are we all going to go to hell in a handbasket? I've discovered that even though I've made a very good living preaching gloom and doom, there's always hope. There is always hope. So you can't dwell on it. My hope for this coming year, where we're going to see a federal and a municipal election, is maybe, just maybe, and I'm not saying this to diss the electorate, but maybe this time I'll take a deep breath and vote for someone simply because, for a reason other than the fact that they aren't the other guy, for a reason other than the fact that they're not Justin Trudeau, or they're not going to put bicycle paths right through your backyard, or whatever, that will put our anger aside, perhaps put a little bit of dispassionate logic towards our choice, and maybe we'll end up in the next couple of years complaining. Well, of course we'll complain, but maybe not complain as much as we would have.
That would be fabulous, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't that be great?
What color is the sky on that planet?
I know, it's never going to happen. Hey, just before I came in, I heard that Marco Mendicino I was going to spend more time with his family. Another Trudeau cabinet minister,
yes,
saying he's not going to be part of the great Liberal family. It's getting crowded on that lifeboat.
I'm telling you. And what's interesting too, Jim, is that he has admitted that he says, it's no secret I disagreed with the current direction of the federal government on our foreign policy vis-a-vis our deteriorated relations with the state of Israel, our inadequate handling of the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, and our enfeebled role in the Middle East.
Well. He certainly found his voice now that he's clinging onto that door by the Titanic. Right?
Yeah.
It's just amazing how these guys suddenly discover that, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Listen, I keep looking at this. Our listeners, even that nice Andrew Carter says, we're on Trudeau watch. It's like, because we got to keep the prisoner under surveillance in his cell.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Do. But the thing is, I look at this, and I'm trying to look at scenarios that will be my most optimistic scenario, which would be the least amount of disaster for the country. And the way I see it, is there is indeed a prorogation, and the Liberals do indeed have the time to choose even an interim leader. And if that interim leader happens to be Chrystia Freeland, who quite frankly has become the personification of every single reason why people are just absolutely furious with Justin Trudeau, I think their best case scenario, and it's not entirely impossible, is if they can hold the Poilievre Conservatives to a minority government, they'll have done their job. And quite frankly, I think Mr. Poilievre's days will be numbered, because he'll be, the 17th or 18th, I'm exaggerating, of course, a candidate who hasn't been able to get that blowout majority that people would like to harken back to the days of Stephen Harper, or God help us, Brian Mulroney. It just isn't happening. But, it is kind of crazy, because there are so many elements that are going on here at Trudie. And despite the very, serious and justified tone of your show thus far, when we look at the clown act, really, that Canadian politics has become, whether at the federal, provincial, or municipal level, it is kind of crazy. And I know there are people out there who are saying, well, if you're so smart, why don't you step up and run for public office? And I'll be frank with you, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. I don't think anyone else would either, because it is true that you, all of a sudden, thanks to the bravery, that is the anonymous bravery that is conferred by the internet. I mean, any clown, any heckler, any troll who fancies that they are the voice of the nation, of the conscience of the people, can just shoot their mouths off 24/7. I got better things to do with my time. But all that said, someone's got to be in charge, and I can only hope that this coming year, Trudie, we're going to see people step up who are going to say, I'm doing this for the country. I'm not doing it for the party. I'm not doing it for some ideology. I'm doing it for the benefit of Canada. Donald Trump is not the only threat this country faces. There's all kinds of horrible things going on all over the world. Our reputation is diminished on an almost daily basis with our kind of very wobbly, erratic, uncentered foreign policy. We really, I think there's a lot of people out there who would like to go back to the Canada that we think that we know. And yet it seems so very far away because there's been so many policy and integrity have been replaced by slogans. I'm not just talking about Poilievre. Trudeau's just as bad. I mean, we get lectured. We have been discovering that virtue signaling has become how we govern in this country, at least for the past 9 years. And the alternative now seems to be a politician whose speechwriters seem to have been recruited from romper room. So, we can't on the one hand, go boldly into the future saying everything's going to be fine. But by God, Trudie, like I say, there's always hope. My fingers are crossed. And I do hope that we are going to be hearing a lot more in this new year about Chrystia Freeland. I think she is perhaps one of the potential rays of sunshine in the otherwise dark, grisly night that is being faced by the federal Liberals. In
that vein, then, your ideal situation would be what? Trudeau voluntarily step down, quick leadership break, Freeland wins.
Yeah, he'll try and make it look like it's his idea, even though he's had so much difficulty understanding that everybody wants him to go. Everybody wants him to go. But once he is gone, and one would hope prorogation is a part of that formula, I would love to see someone like Chrystia Freeland become the interim leader. And I guarantee you, Trudie, just based on my experience in this line of work, once Justin Trudeau is gone, it doesn't matter who takes over, Pierre Poilievre will drop 10 points in the polls right off the bat because, let's face it, without Justin Trudeau, Pierre Poilievre is nothing. Pierre Poilievre has no other reason than to complain about Justin Trudeau. So with Trudeau gone, he's going to be stammering a lot more than he usually does. He'll be running away from reporters a lot more than he usually does simply because his main punching bag will have disappeared. And quite frankly, I think someone as effective and as forceful as Chrystia Freeland, if she steps in even on an interim basis, you'll see that lead drop by 20 points.
That's an interesting prediction. I've always had the feeling, Trudie, that support for Pierre Poilievre, I'm not saying the polls are, a lot of people out there, a lot of the Trudeau trolls out there are saying this is an entirely rigged game, that all the polls are being fabricated. I think the support is there. The problem with Pierre Poilievre is, as I say, a lot of people are just looking at him as the alternative to the other guy. And I think, as one of my bosses used to say, support for Pierre Poilievre is 25 miles wide and about 1.5 inches. Yeah, I think your assessment of that is probably people want an alternative to someone they've grown disillusioned with, and it doesn't really matter who that person is at the moment, I think.
Exactly.
So, okay, let's talk about the U.S. just briefly, James. You had some thoughts you wanted to share about American exceptionalism.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's basically the rationale, whether Donald Trump is musing about making Canada the 51st state, which he isn't, or whether people like Barack Obama can turn around and sort of like, recycle the manifest destiny of the United States for a 21st century audience. The fact is, much like the children in the ancient Roman Republic, American kids are inculcated to believe they are better than anybody else. We have been taught, and even in this country, we got our history lessons from the wonderful world at Disney and their so-called historical programming, and you have been led to believe that up until the creation of the United States of America, freedom did not exist anywhere. Democracy did not exist anywhere. People were in chains, oppressed everywhere. When the fact of the matter is the United States of America was put together, wait for it, by a bunch of rich white guys who owned slaves and who didn't want to pay taxes. And in fact, take the slaves out of the equation, and you may be looking at the ruling class that exists right now in the U.S. So this idea that, Donald Trump says this or Donald Trump, the sad fact of American politics is don't worry your head about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is as irrelevant as anything he says. It's the people who are running him, whether it's Elon Musk, whether it's Peter Thiel, who's the patron of J.D. Vance, who is the vice president, and who I'm convinced will be president of the United States before this year is out. That's what we have to keep our eye on. That's the drift we have got to monitor very, very closely. Donald Trump is a carnival barker. He's a clown. I want the man behind the curtain. I want the real Wizard of Oz to be exposed and stand up and really let me know what their plans are for my country, and whether that's going to work out. I know the lie. Canadians. A lot of Canadians out there. There's a lot of Canadians out there. Garbage. Every single survey suggests it's only like 13%. That's absolute rubbish. But the fact is, we have to be on our guard. We have to stand on guard for these.
We do.
As we say in these parts. and honestly, it's maybe that's the other thing we should be wrapping ourselves up in terms of the fabric of hope for 2025 is the fact that we know who we are, we know what we're about, and it's none of what a lot of people in this country and in other countries are suggesting that we should be.
Yeah, no, I don't think a lot of Canadians are buying what he's peddling. Anyway, James Mennie, always a delight.